Good. Matt, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yep.
You're all welcome.
Yep, all good.
Good, man. So this is Michael. So Michael's like the head sort of strategist with us. So this morning, obviously, you wanted to kind of talk about it, walk through what's kind of going on in your head.
Yeah.
12 hours. It's all gone. So what's happening, man? What's sort of going on?
Yeah, no, well, had a bit of a think about it, and I just can't afford it. It's it's a lot of money.
Sorry, I'm just going to go off. You there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, sorry. I just had to switch around because it was going in and out of my Bluetooth because my car. Okay, too easy, man. Well, like we sort of had a couple of chats about it. So if you don't mind, I'd kind of like to go into that a little bit and sort of talk about the stuff that you're currently going through, and then figure out what's changed, and then if we can figure out a path forward, I think that would be useful given the current position that you're in and the things that you're trying to do. Would you agree upon that?
Yeah, we can talk about it. It's fine.
Yeah, for sure, man. So the things that we sort of established that you really need are to put in those systems and procedures, because right now you're running at like a 5% profit, right? So the business is doing around 300K profit a year, right?
0 to 5, I would more say. Yeah.
Okay, so between that 0 and 5, right? But what we established is that the main reason why that's happening is because everyone's doing things in different ways, and there's no set way of doing things that has established like the meta, right? Like the most efficient technique available, which is going to reduce the amount of time that people have to do things, which is going to increase profit. Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, sweet. Now, and also I think the thing that sort of, really conveys the need for this the most is the fact that this has tried to be done once or twice before, right? Mm-hmm. Conservatively, but it's sort of always been done, I guess haphazardly is probably the wrong way of looking at it, but it hasn't really been followed through. And the reason for that is because like everything is a learned skill, right? Like I am not a particularly amazing manager of people, right? Like I know that, and that's a downfall of mine. So I put a lot of things in place to ensure that like the people that I manage, right, like are managed in a way that they want to do. You know what I mean? And in a way that kind of gets the most out of them, but like while mitigating my weaknesses as much as possible, right? And so I think that that's one of the things that's been lacking is that because like I would say you might have like a little bit of a softer temperament. I would say like you seem like a super nice guy. Do you know what I mean? Which is good, which means that your employees like you, but they haven't done the things that they need to do to give the business the return that they need, right? And that's your fault.
Yep.
Right? So like we have to fix that problem in order for you to become profitable, right? And if you look at this as like, it's $2,500 a month, yada, yada, yada. And it's, and it's not a small amount of money. It's not a tremendous amount of money either. It costs less than a race car, for example, right?
No. My race car's surprisingly cheap.
Really? Well, we'll have to talk about that later, maybe at the intensive, right? Because I would love one. So, but it's like if you're, you got to look through things through different prisms, right? Like if you stand on the horizon, like at the beach, and have a look to the horizon, it's a very different outlook than if you're standing on Mount Everest, right? But the thing is, if you want to climb Everest, you have to think like the guy who can already see from there. Do you know what I mean? So like the strategies and stuff that we can help you put in place are the strategies that you require to get your team to do the things that they have to do so you can get the profit that your company should be making, but your employees and the way that things are being done aren't being done that way now. Do you know what I mean? But if you continually make decisions through the prism of like the way that it is now, it's just not gonna, like nothing will change. And like what we are is a catalyst for change. Do you know what I mean? So by putting some money down, by putting your time into it, and by getting someone who's unemotionally involved in your business and who can push back on you during times like this, that's what will get you to go like to get over the line. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And if over the next 12 weeks, right, we can help you put those procedures, KPIs, and systems in place that bring the business even 1% more profit, right?
Yeah.
Then we give you essentially 200 times return of investment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you want the 200 times return of investment is what I'm trying to say?
Well, no, what I'm saying is that I don't think that's likely.
Okay, well, that's a totally different question, right? Because I can't afford it is a very different thing to I don't think it'll work.
No, they're exactly tied to each other. If I don't see the return on investment, then it's too much money. It's very relevant.
Well, yeah, for sure. Because if you bought like something for $50 and there was no return of investment, whether it be value or monetary, then it's not worth the purchase price, right? Yeah. So why don't you think you'll get an ROI?
Well, yeah, it may be worthwhile. No.
So it's a totally different question, right?
I've seen videos where of your some people that have signed up. Saw one on the Facebook thing. Someone that did it for a month, didn't really commit, and then came back at a later stage. I'm not sure how much later that was, but I think that's probably where I'm at. I don't think that I can commit right now. I have far too much on to commit to this. And yeah, also not making any kind of profit to be able to afford this expense either.
Okay, so
I'm not saying no, but I'm
no. So if I'm getting this right, it's sort of because I want to kind of break down each thing individually, so I can kind of like logically follow the thought pattern. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
So now is it that you don't have enough time? Is that kind of what it is?
No. Yes, you're right. I don't have enough time. I have far too many things happening.
Okay.
And
do you mind if I kind of talk to you about that real quick? Just real quick.
Yep.
Okay. So, like, you don't value your time. Okay. Like, flat out. So this is good. I'm glad that you said that because now I think our conversation might be sitting in about you actually valuing your time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because you do stuff that is completely ridiculous for someone in your position to be doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like you do everyone's job and that's not your job.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can't do that. Your company will never move. It will never change. It will never be more successful than what it is right now if you don't start nailing down like the things that you're supposed to be doing as the head of this company.
Yep.
Right. And it's super common, right? It's one of the most common things that we see, me and Michael, is the business owners or the CEOs doing everything because you're trying to wear every single hat and it's completely unproductive.
Yep.
Right. So like if we do a task audit on you and we figure out what are the things that you're doing and what are the hats that you're wearing, right? We immediately remove the most ridiculous hats.
Yep.
Right. So you keep the baseball cap, you leave the sombrero at home. Right. And then by then like allocating that to people who are supposed to be doing it and ensure they actually do it, you should immediately get more time back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I totally empathize with everything that you're saying and like where you're coming from, but they're all coming from perspectives because things aren't being done in the most efficient way to get the business where you want to go.
I don't have enough time for all of the things that I have to do. Not I'm talking stuff that I cannot delegate, that I cannot outsource, that is director level stuff.
So where do you find the time to do everybody else's job?
Sorry?
So how do you find the time to do everybody else's job?
Well, I don't. They have to do it. Simple.
As of now?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good win.
Yeah. Yep.
When did you come to this realization?
So yes, I've decided that. And but yeah, and then that's forced upon me more than anything. Like, I just seriously do not have time for anything outside of what I really have to do.
Yeah. So, but I'm just trying to like marry everything up, right? So I understand that, but like, is that as of right now? Because last week you were sweeping floors.
No, I said that's one of the things that that's my qualification, I guess. Yeah. I haven't swept the floor in a long, long time. I haven't driven a truck in a long, long time, or a forklift, but those are things that I can and have done.
Okay. Well, that's my bad. I misunderstood.
Yep.
The way that you were saying that. Okay. But do you see what I'm trying to say though? Like, this is the stuff that makes your life easier by like, and infrastructure and systems and processes and KPIs are things that it's never a good time to do. It's like losing weight. I used to be a personal trainer. I'd speak to people who are 30 kilos overweight, telling me that now just isn't the right time. Because, and like, I just got to wait till after this, this, and this. And it's like, okay, well, you can die early if you want to. Like, that's fine. It doesn't affect my day. Right. But like, if you want to start losing weight, you have to start thinking of someone who's not overweight.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And so you're super busy, and you're so busy that you sort of can't see past everything. And I get that. Like, I've been there myself, and many other people are in that position. But what I can say is that if you can take even a small amount of time, like a few hours a week, to step outside that and start to create some infrastructure and some planning around getting your head around this stuff, in 12 weeks' time, you'll be miles ahead of where you will be in 12 weeks' time as if you don't do that.
Yeah.
So it's just whether or not you think...
Whether or not I think that spending $30K a year on this process is worthwhile.
Yeah. Well, you have 12 weeks, right? So it's a 3-month commitment. So you have 3 months to figure out, I guess, whether you think there's a good enough ROI to want to continue into the ongoing program, which is why we do it that way.
Yep. So, yeah. So for me, my question, I guess, that I'm asking myself is, do I continue on for 3 months and potentially waste that money and that time? Or do I, or potentially do what you say and get the benefits out of it?
Okay. So there's two ways of looking
now
at the risk
before
ratio.
I've wasted that time.
For sure. And I'm glad that you're valuing your time so much. Like, I'm stoked about that, because that was one of the things we talked about, right? Like, let's put an hourly rate on your time and really start to value that. And even if you don't go ahead with this, if you've done that mindset shift, I'm stoked, right? Because you'll be better off than where you are now.
Yeah.
Right? But there's two risk factors. There's a risk factor that you're not putting into play, and it's the risk of not achieving the goal.
Yep.
Right? So, like, I think I told you the story about when I did my first coaching program. I'm not sure if I did, right? I was $90,000 in debt at 18%, right? I was 3 months into a 4-month rent-free period in my very first gym, right? And I went to a course that said how to get 100 leads in, like, for your fitness business every month, right? And I went to that seminar. I was like, I had a business partner, have a wife, all that kind of stuff. And I just went, yep, I'm doing it. I put the money on the credit card. It was $6,500 for 8 weeks. And I just said, yeah, let's do it. Right. And people would go, whoa, that's such a risky move. It's like, no, it's not, because it was the least risky thing I could do, because I knew what was presented in front of me over the next 8 weeks. Right. Like, I tried everything. I tried 10 times on how to figure out how to get these leads into my gym, how to sell people. Nothing had worked. Right. So, like, it was the risk of not doing it was catastrophic, right? If it failed, okay, whatever. Like, I added $6.5K onto my already, like, enormous failure, like, whatever. Do you know what I mean? Like, an inconsequential amount, right? But if it succeeded, like, then I had fixed everything. Do you know what I mean? So that's a bit more catastrophic and dire than what your circumstances are, for sure. But, like, you know, like, the risk ratio is like, okay, will I waste money, right? Well, if you're investing in yourself, it's very rarely a waste of money, right? And if we can't figure out the way to motivate you to get you to do the things, that's our failure as coaches, because it's our job as coaches to get people past themselves and motivated to do the things that we all agree upon are in their best interest, right? I took that on a long time ago because I was getting angry at my overweight clients for not doing what I said. And then I had a realization like, well, if they could do the things that were best for them, they wouldn't be 40 kilos overweight. You know what I mean? Yep. So like, it's our job as coaches to be able to like convey the correct motivation and use the stuff that we've had in our conversations as emotional crowbars, essentially, to get you to do the right things and to get you to do it in a manner that makes sense to you, right? And then to like present it and to not overload your plate and make you think like you're trying to drink water from a fire hydrant. You know what I mean? Like everything that we do is strategic and tactical, right? So it's got to be kind of like that real, like what are the outcomes that we can achieve over the next 90 days that give you the biggest bang for buck, right? And we all agree upon those and then we lay them out, you know, the rocks, the pebbles, the sand. And we have a pathway forward and we have a guy that's on staff just, you know what I mean? So do you feel that given that level of infrastructure and passion that we have for getting you to where you want to go and the mindset that we have of that it's up to us to ensure that like we as coaches find the correct motivations to get you to where you want to go, do you feel you can be successful within that 12 weeks to give yourself the best chance to be at your end goal?
I guess the question really is how successful compared to if I do it myself?
Well, you'll never know the answer until you do it, but you know your current success rate. So like it's impossible to judge against something like that's at some point you have to take a small leap of faith. I think I've laid it out relatively clearly. And I think we know that like, I think we know that you tried to do this stuff a few times, right? And so we have to approach it in a different way.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If we want to get this stuff done, we have to start to approach things in a different way. You know what I mean? And like, I think that the best chance of getting to your goal is having someone who helps people do this for a living, right? Get you there, hold you accountable, lay out a plan that makes cognitive sense to you in a timely manner, not overwhelm you, work within your current restraints, and create a pathway for you to be doing the things in your business in the most efficient way possible.
Yep.
And I think if we can hit even 50% of our goals over the next 12 weeks, you'll be in a tremendously better place than what you are now. And 50% of the goals would be a failure in anyone's diary. Do you know what I mean? So like at our worst case scenario, you're still in a tremendously better off place than if you don't do it. Now, best case scenario, we're all kicking goals and we're super happy. But our entire plan over the next 90 days is to make the subsequent investment a no-brainer.
Well, yeah, duh.
Yeah, well, exactly. But again, from a pure business standpoint, like that should make sense.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because like we have to find the way to make it a no-brainer.
Yep. 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 So we're back to the same thing. Do I spend $7,500 in 3 months so that you can prove it?
I'm a pretty tenacious guy, Simon.
Yeah.
I didn't become like, you know, part of the most elite fighting force in the world and compete in the World Sniper Games because I give up on people, because I give up on myself.
Yep.
If I have a goal, I will. If I need to get through a wall, I'll try a bunch of different ways. But at the end of the day, if I have to beat my head through it, I will.
Well, that's a bit Harvey Specter, isn't it?
Oh, like I am a very, very goal-oriented person.
Back against the wall, break that damn wall down.
Exactly, right? And so, like, if I see it, like, if I'm on Team Simon, I'm on Team Simon.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And, like, I'm a good guy to have in your corner, and so is Michael.
Yeah. All right. Well, I already spent the first third of this 7.5. Let's do it.
In for a penny, in for a pound. I love your work, Simon. All righty. Okay, Simon, this is Michael. Michael's going to be your head strategist. Okay. And let's show him the portal.